drop that improves age-related blurry near vision.
Wait, what? It sounded like you just said an eye drop that may help you see up close.
I did. Use Vuity with caution in night driving and hazardous activities in poor light. Also, if your vision is not clear, do not drive or use machinery. Contact your doctor immediately if you have sudden vision loss. Most common side effects are headache and eye redness. Ask your eye doctor about Vuity and see for yourself. Learn how to sign up and save at myvuitypoints.com.
Tomorrow on ET, Ryan Reynolds' childhood confessions to David Letterman. We've got your first look.
What was your interest in getting an earring?
Wham was big.
Speaking of big, a date is set for the Sanderson sisters' return.
Marvelous.
Happening now.
While the number of new COVID-19 cases has doubled countywide, the number of hospitalizations has remained steady. Metro Health explains why.
5 days in a row now of record-breaking heat, but it's going to come to an end very soon, along with some storm chances. See you in a bit.
Now that the world of technology has moved on to 5G, what do we do with all of our vehicles that are still on old 3G technology? How to get an upgrade without needing to pay for a full replacement. The News at 5 starts right now.
The first at 5 shot while sitting inside his car and left for dead in a parking lot. It's what San Antonio police say happened to a 21-year-old man last night.
We now know the name of that man. He is Jonathan Tyler Rodriguez. His family sharing this picture with KSAT. It was taken on his 21st birthday back in February.
They also shared this photo with us. It is his car, which SAPD says was stolen from him last night after he was shot. Right now, they are looking for this vehicle and the person who drove off in it.
They say whoever it was likely shot Rodriguez while he was sitting in his car at the Vintage at Oak Hill Apartments on Babcock Road near Loop 410 last night on the northwest side. That person then pulled Rodriguez out of the car and left him for dead and took off. At last check, they're still searching for Rodriguez's killer.
The San Antonio police are looking for a suspect who shot a teenage girl in the leg this afternoon. Officers called to Aransas and Cardiff Avenues for shots fired at around 1 o'clock. This was on the city's east side. They arrived to find the victim a few blocks away in the 300 block of Bellinger. They say that's where the victim ran to ask for help after she was shot. It's unclear what led up to the shooting, but there were 2 vehicles involved, a white car, which the girl was a passenger in, and a dark car that the shooter was in. Investigators say the 2 people the girl was with left the scene. She was taken to BAMC and is expected to recover.
A man found guilty of murder yesterday, sentenced to 30 years in prison today. David Inohosa, convicted yesterday for the August 2017 murder of Joseph Torres outside of a southeast side bar. The punishment phase immediately began after that guilty verdict and concluded today after testimony was heard. The jury then deliberated and came back with that 30-year sentence. Inohosa must serve half of that sentence before he is eligible for parole. A 23-year-old man now facing charges for a shooting dating back to December. The man was arrested yesterday, Roman Bell, facing 2 charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon for the December 28th shooting that happened at Kingsborough Park on the south side. One of the victims, an 18-year-old man, paralyzed after he was shot in the back during that apparent drug deal. A 16-year-old also shot. Investigators used Bell's phone to trace him back to the scene of the crime.
The Bexar County Sheriff's Office still looking for this man, 69-year-old Ramiro Acevedo. He was last seen in Helotes on May 8th. A silver alert issued for him yesterday. Here's a look at his car. It's a black 2006 Nissan Sentra with the license plate CN2L166. We're going to leave that up there for a little bit. Acevedo has a diagnosed cognitive impairment. If you have any information about his whereabouts, call the number on your screen, 210-335-6000. He's been in more than 150 different movies, TV shows, stage productions, but today this acclaimed actor was in town to talk about mental health and addiction. His friends call him Joey Pants. Joey Pantoliano worked with the young Tom Cruise in Risky Business, with Tommy Lee Jones in The Fugitive and Keanu Reeves in The Matrix. He won an Emmy for his role in The Sopranos. Joe, the keynote speaker for today's Doorways of Hope Gala for Alpha Home, a place where, among other things, women are given inpatient treatment for addiction, often at no cost. Pantoliano shared his own struggles with addiction and what he calls brain dis-ease.
I just want to encourage people to talk about how they feel.
and not to be ashamed about it, because we're all going to go through it.
It affects every one of us, whether we want to admit it or not.
Yeah.
That's the biggest part.
I always say that there are two types of folks, and that's those of us that know that we have a mental disease, and then there are those of us who haven't discovered it yet.
He wrote a book about his struggles called Asylum. Alpha Home believes through hope and healing, recovery is possible for any and everyone. I was honored to MC this year's 16th annual event and get to visit with Joe. He jokes that his favorite movie is the one he's in next.
COVID case numbers starting to tick upward again. The 7-day average for new cases now at 241.
At the beginning of April, that was less than 70 cases. Garrett Berger joins us live from the medical center with what you need to know. And how concerned are they? Garrett.
Well, first, you should know that it's not just here in Bexar County. Nationwide, we're starting to see cases go upwards. KSAT talked with Metro Health's chief epidemiologist earlier today, and she said here in Bexar County, we are still mostly seeing the Omicron variant or its variations. Now, the case counts we are seeing right now, still nearly 6,000 daily cases below the peak we saw in January, so long way off. Though the epidemiologist acknowledged the current count could be higher because of home testing prevalence. But the number of cases isn't the only stat Metro Health is following. While hospitalizations have appeared to be coming up recently, there are currently fewer than 80 people hospitalized with COVID-19 countywide.
I think the reasons we're not seeing as much hospitalizations because we have a lot more individuals vaccinated. We have more individuals also boosted, although we still want to remind individuals it's not too late to get that booster.
Now, 3/4 of the county's eligible population is vaccinated, according to Metro Health, though Espinoza says the number of children in the age group of 5 to 11 still lagging. Now, there's more to stopping case spread than just the vaccination, Espinoza says. She says if you are worried about case spread right now, then go ahead and take some precautions. That might mean masking, especially if you have underlying medical conditions, or staying away from crowds, especially those that are indoors. Live in the medical center, I'm Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Garrett. A reminder, early voting underway for the primary runoff election. One of those races will decide the final Democratic candidate for Bexar County judge. It's between former state rep Ina Minjares and former district court judge Peter Sakai. The winner of that race will face the Republican candidate, former County Commissioner Trish DeBerry, in the November election. You can read about the other races on the ballot at our website, ksat.com. Election Day, Tuesday, May 24th.
Now to the latest on Russia's war in Ukraine. In a direct response to Vladimir Putin's invasion, Finland and Sweden are submitting NATO applications today.
It comes as the war in Ukraine rages on, with Ukrainian fighters being taken to Russian-controlled cities. ABC's Morgan Norwood with that story.
In a direct response to Putin's invasion of Ukraine, Finland and Sweden officially submitting their application to join NATO.
We are exercising our right to make our own choices in providing for our security.
President Biden throwing his support behind the move in a statement, saying he welcomes their application and that by joining NATO, they will further strengthen our defense cooperation. But according to reports, Turkey is looking to formally block their application, citing concerns about the two countries' support of Kurdish militants who Turkey describes as terrorists. The anticipation of a bolstered alliance comes as the battle for the massive steel plant in sieged Mariupol appears to be coming to a close. Ukrainian fighters seen laying down their weapons and evacuating the city. The wounded soldiers are being taken to Russian-controlled cities in the east, and with their fates uncertain, the Ukrainian government pushing to exchange them for Russian prisoners of war. Russia saying it intends to interrogate those soldiers, and now there are signals from Moscow that some of them could be brought to Russia to face trials. It comes as Ukraine holds trials of its own. A Russian soldier pleading guilty to shooting a 62-year-old Ukrainian man 4 days after the start of the war in February. A spokesman for the Kremlin dismissing the proceedings, telling reporters the accusations were simply fake or staged. But the evidence of other atrocities waged against Ukrainians have been all too clear. ABC's Ian Pannell on the ground.
And although the Russians have been driven out of this area, as we're seeing in a lot of other areas, the Russians continue to terrorize the local population.
And the State Department announcing today that it's officially resuming operations at the U.S. Embassy in Kyiv. I'm Morgan Norwood, ABC News, Los Angeles.
As the formula shortage continues, a Houston mother now coming up with a way to help other parents. Marcella Young has created a crowdsourcing map. It's called Fighting the Formula Shortage. It allows users to drop pins on a map showing which stores have formula in stock. Users can either also share whether they need formula or if they have some they'd like to give away. It works for parents nationwide. You can follow Young's social media pages, which are on your screen right now. They are fighting_formula_shortage on Instagram and the Fighting Formula Shortage group on Facebook. You can also find this information on our website, KSAT.com. Meantime, tonight at 6, I'm going to show you a local nonprofit that's kind of doing the same thing, expanding from helping only special needs babies during the formula shortage to all babies. How finding new baby formulas for San Antonio families is possible. I'll explain at 6.
Check out traffic right now. Let's go to I-35 north at Loop 410. And yeah, it's one of the off ramps there. And you can see it is very heavy, really, in both directions right now. As people putting an end to their workday and just trying to get home and noticing just how dang warm it is out there, Adam.
Yeah, they get out to their car in the parking lot at work and woof, you feel the heat out of there. And yeah, it's hot again today. Check this out, 100 for the high temperature that breaks the old record of 98 by 2 degrees. And this actually marks the 5th day in a row of record heat, of either tying or breaking the record high temperature. We've been on this streak daily since Saturday. Del Rio right now 102, Floresville 100, Schertz 101, Mico 99, Utopia 100. You get the idea. Still very summer-like out there. And through this evening, falling through the 90s and 80s. Later tonight, 70s. A cold front's going to drop our temperatures, and actually our rain chances are on the rise. I'm going to tell you more about our best chance of rain coming up.
Great. Thank you, Adam. If you see goats at Brackenridge Park, don't worry. They're not lost. They didn't escape some trailer somewhere. They're inside there on a purpose. The goal, to naturally cut the grass on 7 acres of land in the wilderness area. City Council approving this as a way to save money and a humane use of these animals. The goats are able to go into areas that otherwise would be dangerous for crews. In total, there are now 160 goats at Brackenridge Park.
Goats will essentially clear from about 6 feet all the way down to the ground. And we're trying to create sight lines through here so that you can see the trails and it's a little more visible around here. And they're going to follow us with the goats and kind of clean out some of the invasive species too that they don't want to have growing here as well.
This goat mowing project, look how tired they are from eating all night.
They're hard at work.
Yes. It's expected to last until the end of the month, but the organizers say that people are more than welcome to come up to them and get close. Not too close because the goats are protected by an electrified fence. Don't want to get too close to them.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't get close to them. All right, what network does your vehicle operate on? It's not something you've probably ever thought about, but you might want to check because the 3G network is going away soon, and it could mean you're going to lose some of your car's safety features. Not to worry, in most cases, there's an easy software fix. We're going to explain it all and what to do when we come back.
I'm Myra Arthur, and here's a look at what we're working on for the news at 6 o'clock today. Art often has a message, and this is no exception. International artists bringing their work to San Antonio to show the real faces of domestic violence and highlight the differences between victims and survivors. Courtney Friedman explains where you can see this art and contribute to the cause. Plus, a Selma entertainment venue has been reborn, the real-life amphitheater, formerly called the Verizon Wireless Amphitheater. Remember that? Well, it's set to reopen for its first big concert in more than a decade. RJ Marquez gives us a behind-the-scenes look at what it took to get this venue back into the local music scene. And our KSAT Q&A today with Mayor Ron Nierenberg. What could the impact to San Antonio be when Title 42 ends, prompting what's expected to be an increase in migrants at the border? Plus, why was the mayor in D.C. recently meeting President Biden? We'll talk about it all coming up today at 6.
Thank you, Myra. I'll see you then. Well, new at 5G. It's the super fast new network for smartphones and other wireless devices. But what about the much older 3G networks? As 12 News Side's Marilyn Moritz explains, as wireless carriers begin to shut down 3G, millions of cars may lose important safety features.
New cars are computers on wheels, and in a lot of cases, it's also a cell phone.
Almost every car these days has an internet connection built in, and that can be used for safety features like being able to automatically call for help in a crash, or convenience features like being able to start the car remotely or check to see if the doors are locked or unlocked.
But for millions of cars on the road today, that technology relies on an aging 3G wireless network. And by the end of this year, all of the major cellular carriers will permanently shut down their 3G networks.
Automakers have known for years that the 3G networks were shutting down, but as recently as 2019, they were putting 3G technology into new vehicles, knowing that as soon as the 3G network shut down, that customers would be left in the lurch without access to some of these services.
Some vehicles already have 4G capability, so you might only have to perform a software update at home, the same way you would on a phone or a laptop, to keep your car's connected services. Others will require a hardware upgrade, and for many car owners, that might come at a cost. But knowing what updates your car may need isn't so easy. Owner's manuals aren't so clear, so if you're not sure, ask your dealer if and when the connected services on your car are set to expire. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
A little while ago, Adam said a word that, well,
it wasn't 4 letters, was it?
I was going to say, he said a word, what?
It is a 4-letter word, and it's a good one.
Yeah,
Rain.
Ah, you're right. That is a good one. It's not snow, I'll tell you.
You never know what Adam says.
I got to be careful.
You never know exactly when we're not on air. Even when we're on air.
I'll give you that, okay?
But rain will go with.
The rain will go with. We like that 4-letter word. And there's a big shift in our weather pattern on the way. It's going to bring a temperature drop, a noticeable one, and there's our 4-letter word. Rain chances will be on the rise. Actually, 2 4-letter words we like right next to each other. So let's get right to it with a look at our temperature trend here. Today, we broke a record, made it to 100. Tomorrow, we'll be just shy of the record by a few degrees, but still 98, so well above average for this time of year. Friday, 97, Saturday, 96, so still well into the 90s. Not quite record-breaking territory, but then the cold front hits. Check out Sunday, down to 82. Monday, Tuesday, 84, 87, so a noticeable drop in temperatures on the way. We'll talk temperatures again in a moment. First, let's talk about our overall weather pattern. Pretty quiet across the state, a few storms over Mexico. Those are unlikely to move our way. Upper level high pressure system, it's split right now, not quite as strong, but that's good. We don't want the heat high to be strong, and this opens the door for a disturbance to move into town. Currently, that disturbance over Southern California right now, not really stirring up a whole lot, but it's going to be moving our way. And as it does so, it's going to put our rain chances on the rise a bit. Not significantly, but better than nothing. So this is going to make its way in later on Friday and should be just enough to kickstart some widely separated showers and thunderstorms. Even the off chance of a severe storm, this would be late on Friday. So we're talking Friday late afternoon and on into the evening hours. Notice even the Futurecast not showing a whole lot of intensive coverage, but that could even change between now and then. So we'll keep you updated. Saturday, a few pop-up showers and storms possible, 30%. By Sunday, up to 40%. So looking more likely as a very weak and slow moving cold front moves into town. And really, we're not expecting anything severe over the weekend. We get into next week. By Tuesday, 40% chance, so some scattered storms are likely. And here's the thing. These numbers, I do think, are likely to rise. We're going a little conservative with them right now, but as days go by, it wouldn't surprise me if we boost those storm chances. So check back in, and of course, we'll keep you updated, bring you the latest data. Look at the temperatures now. Cotulla, 106. Pleasanton, Hondo, Uvalde, Eagle Pass, 102. Very summer-like. I mean, this temperature map is what you would see in late July or August around here, but of course, it's still mid-May. Rio Medina, 101, and Bulverde right now at 97. So tomorrow morning, we'll start the day in the lower 70s with the typical low clouds early, then sunny, making it to 98. At least we'll have a bit of a breeze, gusting up to 25 miles per hour at times out of the south. And high temperatures right near the century mark tomorrow into the weekend. We talked about it. There's that temperature drop as some storm and rain chances rise. Check back in. We'll keep you updated. But right now it's looking more promising.
Love it. Thanks so much, Adam.
All right, the Spurs get the draft where most everybody predicted they'd get to draft.
And they have 3 draft picks in the first round alone, and now 1 in the top 10. When we come back, we'll review those for you. And how COVID has already affected San Antonio FC, knocking them out of their match set for this Saturday. Details coming up. San Antonio Spurs will pick 9th in the first round following last night's NBA draft lottery. That's where the odds said that the Silver and Black would land, despite the fact that former #1 draft pick David Robinson was the in-person team representative last night in Chicago, hoping to try and improve on those odds. Going in, we knew it was a long shot for #1 since the Spurs only had a 4.5% chance for that top pick, but they did have over a 20% chance to finish in the top 4. That didn't happen. So what did David think of the outcome?
Yeah, no, I think it's a win, no matter how we look at it. I mean, we're going to get a great player, and like I said, I think we have some really smart people who have great eyes, and I think we're going to understand what we need, and I think we're well positioned to be able to get a very, very talented player.
The Spurs also had the number 20 overall pick from Toronto, number 25 overall from Boston in the first round. So the Silver and Black will be very busy on draft night, June the 23rd. For the 4th time in franchise history, the Orlando Magic won the #1 pick in the NBA draft lottery. The last time was 2004, where they used the top draft pick to draft Dwight Howard. There is no clear-cut #1 this year, with Gonzaga's big man Chet Holmgren being mentioned as one, along with Duke's forward Paolo Banchero, Auburn forward Jabari Smith, and Purdue guard Jaden Ivey as others. Here's a look at the draft order in the top 10. It starts with Orlando, followed by Oklahoma City, Houston, Sacramento, and Detroit. Second half of the top 10 begins with Indiana, followed by Portland, New Orleans, San Antonio, and the Washington Wizards. The Miami Heat have taken a 1-0 lead by beating the shorthanded Boston Celtics to tip off the Eastern Conference Finals. That's after the Celtics had to play without starters Marcus Smart, who had to sit out due to a sprained right foot. Now Horford in health and safety protocols. Horford not expected back for Game 2. Still, the Celtics were up by 8 at the half thanks to Jason Tatum's 29 points. Miami turned up the heat in the third quarter, outscoring the Celtics 39-14 behind Jimmy Butler, who scored 17 of his 41 points in that period to break it open and lead Miami to a 118-107 victory. This Saturday showdown for first place, United Soccer League's Western Conference between San Antonio FC and Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC at Toyota Field has been postponed. The reason, multiple individuals for San Antonio FC have tested positive for COVID-19, activating health and wellness protocols by the league. And that's just a shame because everybody was looking forward to that match this Saturday. They haven't given us a new date just yet. We'll let you know when that happens.
All right. Thank you, Greg.
We'll be right back.
Tomorrow, back up near the century mark, even exceeding it in the typically warmer spots south and west of San Antonio. But around town, about 98, 99. You get to Von Army 100, Castroville 101, but Timberwood Park 96 and Leon Springs 97. Cooler by Sunday, 82. Rain chances on the rise. First shot is later on Friday afternoon and evening. Then a few storms could pop up Saturday afternoon. Sunday, some scattered activity, and then even increasing chances into next week. Looking more positive.
Prettiest forecast you've had in a long time. Thanks for watching the News at 5.
World News up next.